The world is full of weird and wonderful martial arts, from karate to kickboxing, from Lua to Lethwei, but one that seems as if it may have been left in the past is that of shin kicking. Shin kicking, I know, sounds ridiculous, but in reality, it's one of the oldest and most brutal combat sports in British history. A true test of endurance, pain tolerance, and mental fortitude. This isn't just a backyard brawl. Shin kicking is a battle of willpower, a war of attrition between two fighters determined to stand their ground while enduring excruciating pain. But where did this extreme sport originate? Why do people willingly subject themselves to this level of agony? And how has it survived centuries, evolving from a lawless battlefield of broken bones to a modern-day festival spectacle? Well, to understand shin kicking, we have to travel back 400 years to the early 17th century in England. The Cotswold Olympics, founded by lawyer Robert Dover in 1612, where a festival of combat sports, tests of strength, and sheer displays of endurance were seen. These events included wrestling, cudgel fighting, hammer throwing, and even fencing. But among them was one sport that stood out for its sheer brutality: shin kicking. Unlike today's shin kicking, which involves softened shoes and padded trousers, the early version was pure violence. Competitors would strap iron-toed boots to their feet and proceed to smash their opponent's shins into submission. Imagine two men gripping each other by their collars, trading full-force kicks to the legs and refusing to fall. No gloves, no safety gear, just raw, unfiltered combat. To withstand this punishment, fighters hardened their shins by repeatedly bashing them with hammers or rolling heavy wooden clubs over their bones. This painful conditioning was similar to Muay Thai fighters kicking banana trees or iron body training in Kung Fu. But why shin kicking? Some believe it was a test of a man's ability to endure pain in battle, while others claim it was simply a violent but entertaining contest for spectators. Either way, it became legendary. The rules of the early shin kicking were straightforward but savage. Two fighters grasp each other's collars or shoulders. They take turns kicking each other's shins as hard as physically possible. The goal is to bring the opponent to the ground, using only shin strikes. The match continues until one competitor collapses or surrenders. In the 19th century, organised shin kicking tournaments emerged, but the rules remained brutal. It wasn't uncommon for fighters to break bones, suffer deep bruising and gashes, or be unable to walk for weeks after a match. Some competitors started using straw padding in their trousers, but this was often mocked as a sign of weakness in a time of being able to face a test of being a man. Shin kicking eventually became known as a peasant's duel, a way for farmers and workers to settle disputes without weapons. Compared to modern combat sports, shin kicking is uniquely brutal. Boxing focuses on head movement, defense, and strategy. Muay Thai incorporates shin kicks, but also punches, elbows, and knees. MMA allows grappling and striking combinations. But shin kicking was pure, raw, violent endurance. No gloves, no takedowns, just kicking. As I say, with the old rules, this was wooden clogs with iron spikes smashed into your shins. You just kick, endure, and survive. By the 19th century and the early 20th century, shin kicking began to fade. With the rise of professional boxing, wrestling, and modern football, fewer people wanted to subject themselves to shin-shattering injuries. But shin kicking never fully died out, and in 1951, the Cotswold Olympics were revived, bringing shin kicking back into the public eye. Today, modern shin kicking tournaments still take place in Gloucestershire, England, during the annual Olympics. Of course, the sport has evolved. Fighters now wear softer shoes and padding is required, although still generally with hay. But make no mistakes, it's still incredibly painful. There are notable competitors and champions. In the modern era, shin kicking has attracted competitors from all around the world. Shin King Sean Binstead, one of the toughest modern champions, has won multiple shin kicking events. Champion Adam Miller, famous for his unbelievable endurance and ability to absorb kick after kick. But despite the safer rules, injuries are still common. Deep bruising, fractured shins, and weeks of recovery are all part of the sport. Believe it or not, shin kicking isn't just mindless violence though. There's an art to it. Kind of. There's timing. It's crucial. A well-timed kick can destabilize your opponent and make them lose balance. An angle of attack, where you're kicking with the right part of the shin, can cause maximum pain while minimizing the damage to yourself. Your foot positioning, of course. Some fighters adopt a side-on stance to protect their lead leg. And, obviously, psychological warfare. Staring down your opponent, refusing to react to pain, and keeping a calm face can break their confidence. This is what separates the best shin kickers from the casual. It's not just about who can kick the hardest, it's about who can endure the most pain. If you're wondering how anyone survives shin kicking, the answer is pain tolerance. Fighters condition their shins for months, using methods similar to Muay Thai and Kyokushin karate, hitting the shins with sticks or rolling a wooden dowel across them, kicking heavy bags over and over to deaden nerves, and enduring controlled pain to build resilience. The best shin kickers are masters of pain management. Shin kicking is, of course, not for the faint-hearted. It's brutal, painful, and unforgiving. A sport where victory isn't about skill, it's about sheer willpower. So here's the question. Would you step forward and test your endurance in the ultimate battle of shin kicking supremacy? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more insane deep dives into the world's most extreme sports, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you again next time.